It's been 3 years since a major report detailed the critical structural problems plaguing the Oklahoma State Capitol. Just about the only thing that has changed since then is that the Capitol has aged. It's now almost 100 years old. Governor Fallin wants the building fixed. Lawmakers insist they are close to an agreement to fund repairs, but time is running short.
The yellow crime scene tape, scaffolding, and barricades along the south steps are the most visible symbols of the state capitol's deterioration. Recently, a nonprofit group put the Capitol on a list of the state's most endangered historic places. David Pettijohn is executive director of Oklahoma Preservation, Inc.
It's our state capitol. It's where government happens. It's where governors have been inaugurated, laws are passed. We have thousands of visitors from across the world. And when they come to Oklahoma City, they want to see our state capitol, and today it's barricaded.
The barricades protect the public from limestone crumbling away from the granite exterior. Capitol architect Dwayne Mass says repairing that limestone facade should be the first priority.
The facade gets worse with each freeze and thaw cycle. Remember, all the joints, many of the joints, especially at the top, if you go to the building and look up, the joints are wide open. So that water gets into the assembly. And it gets worse each and every year.
The problem is exacerbated by the deteriorating condition of the anchors, which hold the limestone to the walls.
If the anchors are truly worse, that means they continue to degrade due to water getting in. This is cast iron, not stainless steel. We use stainless steel now for anchors. These cast iron anchors are rotting away.
Mass says repairing the limestone and preventing further water erosion is the most critical issue, but not the only one. The State Capitol Building Historic Conditions Report, released in 2010, put the state on notice that repairs were urgently needed. It found the electrical system is woefully deficient. The report also detailed significant problems with the plumbing, noting that 80% of the current plumbing pipe within and under the Capitol needs replacement.
The plumbing system is, I think, the one that will shut the building down. There will come a day when you will not be able to flush the toilet in this building. And at that point, how can the building be used?
Mass says much of the plumbing is nearly 100 years old, and much of it doesn't work.
We have stoppages in the sewage systems that I'm aware of where they've run snakes down them, and they just pull up mud, which means the drain lines that go from the building and head outwards to the sewer, heading to the west, are filling with mud and failing.
Senate President Pro Tem Brian Bingman is well aware of the plumbing problems.
Whenever it rains, walk through the basement of the Capitol, and it's not a pleasant smell. And again, that's probably from sewer lines that no longer exist. And the moisture in the ground brings that odor throughout the Capitol, and it's not pleasant for guests coming in the state of Oklahoma, walking into our state capitol.
Legislative leaders and Governor Mary Fallin are nearing agreement on a supplemental appropriation to begin repairs to the limestone facade. Bingman says that appropriation would also include money for a detailed engineering analysis of the building.
You got to get behind the walls, you got to get below the ground to find out exactly what the problems are, make sure we identify them, get the experts in here, engineers, and they've indicated that their estimate is about $2 million that it would take to come up with that plan.
House Speaker T.W. Shannon questions the need for that analysis. The House Democratic Caucus also opposes the idea of another study. Minority Leader Scott Inman calls it a waste of taxpayer dollars.
We know what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. That's how we arrived at a figure of nearly $180 million in needs. And so if the governor wants to spend $2 million of the people's tax money just studying the issue, she won't find support with our caucus.
Mass insists a detailed analysis is more than just another white paper. In fact, it's absolutely necessary before extensive repairs can begin.
No credible architectural and engineering firm is going to begin this project, is going to begin this process without that detailed analysis first of what is there. Not a study, a very detailed analysis, and many of the proposed solutions will carry to the finish line.
Those solutions will depend upon what Mass calls invasive testing. In effect, taking a jackhammer to parts of the building to see what's there.
We did, to the best of our ability in the study, tried to show the location of major plumbing systems, major electrical systems, but much of what was done in that building originally is shrouded. It's encased in the structure. We cannot see exactly where the lines go.
And that makes it difficult to proceed with a plan to fix all the problems.
Much of this that is behind that building that's causing us problems has not been seen in 100 years. We assume we know how it was put in, but bear in mind, much of the plumbing is hidden within the structure, something very unusual, something we'd never do today.
Adding to the expense is the problem of how to preserve the artwork which adorns the walls of the Capitol.
Part of this engineering analysis has to be set aside for how we're going to protect the murals. The murals are simply not a painting to pick up and move away. They're integral to the wall. They're the finish of the wall.
Still unresolved is how to pay for the repairs, which are expected to cost as much as $180 million. Last year, the legislature shot down a proposed $200 million bond issue to fix the Capitol. Speaker Shannon favors a pay-as-you-go approach. Shannon is the author of a bill calling for the sale of unused and underutilized state properties, using the proceeds to pay for infrastructure maintenance, including repairs to the Capitol.
We think this will begin the idea of how we move forward in setting the foundation for an 8-year pay-as-you-go plan for addressing the state needs like the state Capitol building on assets and buildings. We're certainly the only one, I think, coming forward at this point with a plan that doesn't involve bonds, and this lays the foundation for that.
I'm one of those people that would like to see us do a bond issue. We have very little debt on our state with bond issues. We have a lot of debt coming off our state. In fact, 62% of our debt will be coming off in the next 2 years from our bond issues that we currently have.
In the 3 years since the Capitol Historic Conditions Report, virtually nothing has been done to fix the building's major problems. Mass says unless action is taken soon, Oklahoma State Capitol risks becoming uninhabitable.